Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to everyone. Today, my group will be presenting about Chapter 8, which is Responding to Personal and Work-Related Stress. But before that, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Nurin Izzah Akilah binti Azani. My number matric is DHM 191022. As we know, stress is a common thing in our daily life. But do we know the reason or the factors behind the stress that we have in our daily life? The stress factor in your life. Stress refers to two simultaneous events. First is an external stimulus. Second, the physical and emotional response to that stimulus. An external stimulus is the thing that causes us to feel stress. The emotional response is that we developing feelings such as anxiety, fear, muscle tension, surge in heart rate, and so on. Stress also comes from an environment, body, and mind. For environment, we took stress at workplace. For example, loud noises from the car or the lorry, or people chattering and laughing too loudly. This causes us to feel more stressed and cannot focus on complete our tasks. Positive stress can be a powerful stimulus for growth, which is if we see someone that focusing on his or her task, we feel that we need to be more competitive in order to complete our task. So it will be effective for us to be more competitive in doing our job. Next is negative stress can be a problem for us, which is it can increase low self-esteem, or we can be less competitive doing tasks. When the stress is too much for us to handle, we can lose our control and become mad, which is we cannot be competitive in a hard situation. Next is stress that we encounter every day caused by our own negative thinking and faulty reasoning, which is we always thinking of being useless, thinking that something we did might not work for us or did not get reward. We can feel stressed if there is too much work or task to do and we need to complete it immediately, which is cause us more stress.
Next one is responding to stress. Stress can be caused by family problems, chronic illness when we are studying, and our surroundings. Therefore, you must know the three important elements where we have stress. Number one is the stressor. The stressor in which you have to know what kind of stages that you have. Number two is your perceptions on how you want to overcome the stress. And the last one is your response, in which your reaction when you realize that you have stress. Other than that, our natural response to stress also called as fight or flight syndrome, in which it may help your body to face the stressful situation. For example, when you have an examination, your body tends to work harder and stay up until late night just for the examination. It means stress can be motivate us and keep us alert. Otherwise, stress also can be respond to your body in which it can establish mental, physical, and emotional balance.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. I am Nurul Hafifah binti M. Suhairi. So today I will talk about the major causes of stress. So first is work-life balance. Work-life balance is the most important employment benefit. However, due to the economic downturn, the effort of the employee to have a work-life balance has been delayed. Therefore, this causes stress. So number two is multitasking. Communication technology creates many distractions and interruption 24/7. This disturbs someone's leisure time that lead to stress. Although multitasking is stressful, there are some ways to embrace it. For example, learn to supervise, learn to concentrate, and learn to plan ahead. Number three is change. To summarize, it wasn't easy to suit ourselves with the new norm, new difference, or new changes. For example, in the world we are living now, we have to always wear masks and sanitize our hand. So it takes time for us to adapt with the new situation. Sometimes this could lead to stress. Number four is long hour or irregular schedules of work. The uneven shift and long hour period of work could lead to stress because of lack of sleep, not enough rest, and also doesn't have enough time to socialize.
Causes of stress. Number 5 is noise pollution. The roar from the traffic, neighbors' loud music, or the loud voices of someone who nearby. Negative effect on emotional well-being, which is cause us to develop anxiety or fear. Noise affects people more than any other work area pollutant. This is because the noise, we can't concentrate on the task that we need to do. Number 6 is incompetent leaders. Fail at recognizing the hard work, ideas, and concern of employees, which is the leader fail to recognize the work of the employees, the hard work that they do, which is cause the employees to feel more down and feel more stressed about it. Fail to carry out responsibility and clarify roles, which is the leader fail to carry out their responsibility as a good leader to lead their employees toward a positive way, which is they do not care about their employees, whether their employees having a stress, depression, or too many tasks. They do not care or do not concern about their employees' health, mind health. Set up unreasonable deadline and force employee to complete the task in the nearest time. For example, they give the task to their employees and expect them to complete it by tonight or tomorrow, which is that is unreasonable because the employee also need the time for themselves. This is causing them much more stress. Number 7 is work and family transitions. Transitions are inevitable, forcing someone to give up and face the changes, which is someone cannot do anything about this transition. For example, marriage, divorce, birth, death, moving. Which is we cannot create a solution to it, which is we need to face it as the way it is. We need to think that maybe there is something behind all of this transition that is better for us. Number 8 is rumination, negative thoughts that keep replaying over and over in mind, which is that we tend to think about ourselves as a loser, useless, will bring us more down and cause us to develop a depression. It causes to lose concentration, loss of sleep, and start to develop feelings of depression, which is might be dangerous for some of us because sometimes these negative thoughts might lead us to inflict self-harm to ourselves. That is why we need to overcome it by distract ourselves by doing activities such as exercise or hanging out with friends, or we can share, which is by talk about our concern to someone who can listen and understand our condition. Next, also we can meditate. Mindfulness technique can help us distance from thoughts that trouble. At the same time, we can reducing the stress.
So next is symptoms of stress. Symptoms of stress could be divided into 3. So the first one is physical, the second one is emotional, and the third one is relational. From physical, sleep disturbances, tension or migraine headaches, hair loss due to stress push the hair follicles to a resting phase so that they won't produce a new hair strand, and sweaty palms and skin breakouts or skin problems. From emotional, nervousness and anxiety, depression or moodiness, which is you kept having mood swings, lack of concentration, for example, you are not focusing on whatever that you are doing, substances abuse, which is you risk yourself with cigarettes and drugs, memory problems, and irritability or frustration. Next is relational. First, increased argument. For example, you love to argue and feel you are always right. Second is isolation from social activities, which is you love to be alone and hate being around people. Next is conflict with co-workers or employers, which is you having a fight with your office mate without any specific reason. Next is overreaction. And last but not least is road rage, which is you feel angry with other drivers on the road while you are driving.
First, you have to improve your recovery sleep period. Enough sleep is one of best stress management strategies. Don't often sleep at late night because it's not good to your mental and physical. As you know, we tend to sleep 8 hours per day. Therefore, you can set alarm during your training, such as wake up early at 8 a.m. in the morning and sleep early at 10 p.m. And do not eat chocolate, drink alcohol or nicotine or caffeine as possible as near to bedtime. Gentle exercise can help you to manage your daily stress and improve motivations. So most people took this treatment as number 1. Simply do a regular exercise such as push-up and squats. A lot of advantage when we are doing exercise. For example, it can control your weight, it can help to combat health anxieties, and it can improve your mood. Then, deep breathing exercise can force you to focus on the present moment rather than on things that cause you to stress. Try to breathe in through your Try to breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. Do it like 3 to 10 times and take your time with each breath. It sends a message to your brain to help you calm down and relax.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Kamarul Firdaus bin Kamaruzaman. My metric number is -M191035. Okay, for the meditation, relaxation techniques that will slow down your pulse, respiration and brainwave activity, and also will lower your blood pressure. Meditation can permanently rewire the brain to raise levels of happiness, lower your stress, and improve immune system function. Most meditation techniques involve 3 elements. Firstly, sit or lie down in a comfortable or quiet place where you are not likely to be disturbed. Secondly, intentionally relax the muscles of your body from your toes to your head. Last but not least, focus on the sound of each breath with using abdominal breathing techniques. Solitude. For unconscious to process thoughts and events. The meaning of solitude is those who are constantly in touch with others can benefit from the therapeutic effect of solitude. Solitude also can be viewed as an emotional breather, a restorer of energy, and a form of rest similar to sleep. Solitude is often required for the unconscious to process thoughts and events. Next is resilience. Resilience is being able to bounce back when confronted with stressful situations. Resilience is not just a personal characteristic, and it applies to team as well. When people have confidence in themselves, it will motivate them to push the boundaries and strive to achieve goals without fear of making a mistake.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Quratul Ain Muhammad Basori. My metric number is DHM 191041. So I'm going to talk about how to use positive psychology to combat stress. There are 6 ways on how to use positive psychology to combat stress. So the first one is happiness. By the word happiness, happiness is just not a mood. It also more than just a mood. It is a way of living and working, and each person also has a different happiness baseline, but fortunately you can learn on how to raise yours. And by learning how to raise your baseline, you can achieve more higher levels of your happiness. The second ways are laugh and have fun. Laugh is a gentle exercise of the body. It is a form of inner jogging. So basically, when you laugh, your immune system gets a boost, so the stress-related hormones are reduced and respiratory function is improved. For having fun, you need to have fun while you doing your job, because it does not preclude being serious about your work and caring about doing a good job. And lastly, the goal is actually to create positive fun and loving atmosphere that will reduce the stress levels. Thirdly are commit random acts of kindness. Act of kindness toward family, friends, and even stranger will reduce the stress level and improve mental health. And for who completed 5 acts of kindness toward others, not only felt much happier throughout that day, but also in subsequent.
Another positive psychology to combat stress is be optimistic, open-minded. You need to train your mind to see the positive during stressful time creates increased optimism. Meaning here, when you think positive that you can easily do that. Okay, and then optimists cope better during stressful situation and maintain high level of well-being during times of hardship. Okay, optimism is a powerful predictor of work performance. When you are an optimist person, you will set more goals and more difficult goals, put more effort into attaining those goals, stay more engaged in the face of difficulty, and rise above obstacle more easily than a pessimist person. Next, use your unique strengths. If you focus on what you do well, like you do well in cooking, and what you enjoy the most, like reading, shopping, and other things, you are less likely to be stressed or depressed and more likely to be successful. And then, in one study, people who used their signature traits were significantly happier, less depressed than those in the control group. And then also in 6 months later, this study shows the people still had high levels of happiness. Okay, last but not least, set goals. It is very important to set goals to combat with your stress. An effective way to overcome feeling discouraged and helpless during a difficult time in life is to set goals. By setting small, attainable goals help you regain control and feel sense of accomplishment. Take a large goal and break it into a smaller chunks. What can be achieved during a week, like get up early and eat breakfast, and then what can be achieved a day, like explore something new every day. Okay, as you check off each goals, you will see and feel a sense of accomplishment as you achieve your goals. You will feel happy, impressive with yourself, and be sure to celebrate even small wins. Self-love is important.
Next, there are 3 ways on how to cope with psychological disorder. Firstly, are popular therapy options. Many organizations offer various employee assistance programs, which is EAPs, aimed at overcoming anxiety, depression, burnout, and alcohol abuse and drug abuse. These employee assistance programs are designed to address negative effects of psychological disorders before employees become dysfunctional. Secondly, our 12 Steps program. 12 Steps programs are divided into 2, which is the first one is Work the Steps, and then the second one is Attend Meetings. Work the Steps means admitting the problem, recognizing that life has become unmanageable, and turning life over to a higher power. And then the Attend Meetings. Meetings of 12-step programs are held in convenient locations throughout communities across the country. Members describe their own problems and listen to others who have experienced similar problems, and in most cases, members from strong support groups. Thirdly, web-based counseling is growing. Some licensed therapists give their clients a choice of face-to-face counseling or online counseling. And in addition, there are thousands of support groups organized around various psychological disorders and moderated by therapists, and some are licensed and some are not. And then there are also no guarantee of legitimacy or confidentiality.
Coping with psychological disorders. Firstly is depression, a mood disorder characterized by persistent, overwhelming sadness and hopelessness. Other than that, depression is a major risk factor of suicide. When depression seriously affects a person's productivity on the job or in interpersonal relationships, psychiatrists consider that person will have a depression. The symptoms such as overwhelming sadness or hopelessness may persist for weeks or months. Next is anxiety. Anxiety intense feelings for apprehensional, long-standing, and usually destructive. There are an example of the disorder, which is a phobia. That means is an irrational fear of specific object or situation. For the burnout, which is a gradual intensifying pattern of psychological, physical, and behavioral dysfunction. Burnout is when you will feel that your energy fuel tank is empty. There are two examples, the most common symptoms of burnout. First symptoms is increased detachment from coworkers, customers, or clients. Second symptoms is increased disorientation such as forgetfulness or low concentration.